No. We need more lemon pledge. No. This not dandruff shampoo. You have lice.
Happy Halloween.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I always find it concerning whenever I eat beets and forget about it.
Casey, tell us what happens when you do that.
When you eat beets and forget about it, well, you think you're bleeding from the inside. Or if it's explosive, it looks like a murder scene.
Yep.
When
I
you
didn't
first
know
said
that.
I thought you meant like the earphones. I was like, well,
No, like when you eat
you are
beets,
bleeding inside.
You eat beets, you go to the bathroom, and then it looks, you're like, oh,
Is it red?
You have this like moment of like, oh my God, is that like a full-on blood clot? No, that's just beets.
Are you allergic to beets, Spencer?
I don't eat beets.
Why?
You
I
don't eat
don't.
beets?
I never encounter beets.
Beets? Bear?
What?
Battlestar Galactica?
I don't have the beets.
You're
didn't
invited
eat
to
the-
Thanksgiving this year.
I did one time eat a pair of Beats headphones,
Yeah,
and it didn't. My poop came out with bass.
Low hanging fruit.
Womp womp.
Sorry.
Oh, do you? Never mind. Well, later. Sorry.
Casey, intro the episode before Hunter says
Hey
anything
everybody,
else.
welcome to another episode of the Beacon House Podcast.
Why don't you
I'm
tell him?
Casey.
Tell him who that new voice is that they're hearing.
New voice. It's
This returning voice.
Rel-
returning
relatively
voice.
new.
They
They don't
Relatively
know the
new.
proximity of the voice.
This is the fourth time Savannah's been on.
So
it's
tell
the
them who.
third.
Tell them who our guest is today.
Savannah.
Hello.
Savage.
That white bitch.
All right, and welcome today, dear. How are you?
Oh, thank you. I'm good.
Good to see you.
They got
And-
Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter's over there making my editing job real easy. Like, yeah,
And the most handsome man around, Spencer.
if only.
I love those new glasses.
Thanks, dude.
It's not
I'm
our
liking
fault.
it.
He's the
Digging
only
him.
man around.
Digging him. So, what's going on, guys? We're in the. Tell me, how's October going so far?
I love it. We're about to go to Fryworks.
I know we're like hours away from Fryworks, and I'm
can't
stoked
wait.
as fuck about it.
Savannah's never been to a haunted house before.
I'm on the line.
Ever.
Oh, you're gonna love it. This is such a well managed one. Again, if anybody hearing this podcast, like, that they may have seen it, but like it's so well done, and it's not like overly graphic. It's some of
I'm
it's kind of
excited about looking
cute.
at like the art aspect of it.
That's me.
Yeah.
I like to go through the rooms and go, oh, they painted this one all crazy. Oh, they made a mirror out of that weird glass thing. Like the actual just like jump scares are kind of, I mean, for me, I like to just see the environment. I'm very, what do you call that when it's like a spatial, there's some kind
The
of
atmosphere.
atmospheric.
The
Yeah.
aesthetics.
Yeah, yeah.
Theatrics.
I'm a sucker for like Halloween lights. I'm a sucker for like out in the parking lot when they've got like everything's orange and purple, like all lit up. Like I'm just a sucker for the whole, I don't know,
9 yards.
the whole 9 yards.
I just like the idea of being scared. It's like a roller coaster. Someone goes, boo. I go, ah, you got me.
So you go into it looking for the
I don't go in like, oh, I can't wait to see if someone scares me. Because usually, like, I mean, we went through that haunted house up in,
Frightmare Manor.
Frightmare Manor. And I walked around the entire time. People were like screaming at me. And I was just stone faced. I was like, I really like this. This is really nice. But none of the scares are getting me. Like, I've watched so many horror movies that I'm like, oh, well, here's a curtain in this wall. It's a black wall, but there's a curtain right there. So I bet, yep, there he is.
There's like, oh yeah, exactly. Oh, there's going to be a guy around this corner. It's super predictable.
But like Dustin said, this time they got like a lot of really good ideas of like sneaking people in and out of certain
like
stuff.
I feel like something that sets Frightworks apart. And I know Dustin is, to do him a service. He's friends with a lot of the people who operate haunted houses in the area. So he's friends. They go to Frightworks. They go to the haunted corn maze, or they go to whatever, the haunted cave, or I'm just kind of making these up now. The haunted
corn maze.
the haunted extracurricular toilet or whatever.
wow.
But and so they support each other. So I'm not going to dog any of the other ones, but
Dog 'em.
I think what's better about Frightworks is the people are actually like trying to act like there's a theatrical aspect
There's
to
a
it.
story.
There's a story.
Yeah.
And they're just all really into it. There seems like more of a volunteer aspect. Anytime I go to any of the other ones, I feel like it's just a bunch of kids from the high school in like dirty jeans with like the same mask, and they've got a leaf blower that sounds like a chainsaw, and it's just a lot of yelling. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't get that at Frightworks. At Frightworks, like, people look like they actually have a role that they're playing.
Yeah.
And they just look like they spend a lot of time on the sets, and I don't know, man. It's my favorite haunt attraction operation around here, and I feel like we're lucky to have it in Knoxville, because usually you have to drive like way out somewhere. For Frightmare Manor, is another really big one, but it's like an hour from here.
Is it? It's up in what, Danger?
Jefferson County, I think. It's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of it, which can be fun.
I mean,
but
we stopped at that Perkins. I haven't been to a Perkins in forever.
yeah, it becomes kind of a destination like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked. I'm stoked about going to fireworks. I'm just like, fidgety about it.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
Hunter's making a face like what is this face you're doing? You're extra
I just can't wait till they blow a smoke machine into your wife's face.
Yeah, and I freak out again.
God.
That was my favorite of, hey, she has
That was
asthma.
your favorite part?
Yeah, because they went, hey, she has asthma. Can you cut it back? And the guy was like, oh, yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely do that. And then
Got two cannons of smoke.
It came out. The fog machine came out, and you immediately saw the guy who said, yeah, we can take care of that, just immediately start to panic and was like, oh, my God, and like started jumping around. And I was just going,
And I was like, you killed her.
Also,
She's dead. She's
hold
on
your
the ground.
breath.
and in the spirit of friendship, I don't feel like your biggest expectation to wait to see it get blown in Hunter's wife's face
But
under any circumstances.
But it was the thing of like,
You
she was
made
like,
it
well,
dirty,
I'll sit in the
Spencer.
back. She goes,
he made it dirty.
I'll
You
sit
made
in
it
the
dirty.
back.
He made it dirty.
I'll sit in the back so it doesn't get to me if it happens. And they were aimed in the back. So it was like someone started two cars in Libby's face. And
You're
it's
like-
just, all the smoke went at her and everybody was just like, man, you can't get any unluckier than that.
Yeah. No, I'm just excited it's the face, Spencer. You're a dirty old man.
Now, for me, we've been talking about sperm for like the last 5 minutes, not smoke. But anyway, let's be honest, more than 5 minutes.
More than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Since you woke up yesterday.
So I saw a movie.
What'd you see?
Let's go. What's up?
I saw Hubie Halloween.
You did. I watched it too.
What'd you think?
Uh,
I thought it was charming.
When
Not
did you
great,
watch
but
that?
charming. Huh?
When did you watch that?
A week ago.
Wednesday last week? Wednesday or Thursday?
I'm lukewarm on it. It.
Why?
I thought
What do you hate about Adam Sandler?
I don't hate Adam Sandler. In fact, one of my favorite movies of all time is Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Billy Madison.
I like Billy Madison, but
How'd
Happy
you like
Gilmore is like my
50 First Dates.
favorite. I like 50
That's a
First
great
Dates. I like Click.
What's the one that I tell you that I can't remember the name of?
the one that you didn't like?
No, Brendan Fraser and him and
Has
the
anyone
radio
seen
station.
the
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems?
Airheads.
Fantastic.
Is it good?
Fantastic and not humor. Like
Yeah.
Adam Sandler being real serious and in kind of a perilous situation. I recommend it.
Interesting.
Uncut Gems is fantastic. And I didn't go into it with high expectations. Hubie Halloween, once again, I understood it better after Casey mentioned that it's like a big fan service.
Yeah.
It's kind of like all of his characters rolled into one guy. I just thought that the character was not good.
The character he played was the worst part.
Yeah.
But I love the atmosphere. I love the charmingness of like the Halloween movie.
That's me too.
I love the mystery of it.
Yes, and I liked that too. And I watched it because I just wanted a not dark Halloween movie. I wanted a lighthearted Halloween movie, and that's what I got. So I just every time he was portraying the character, I was like, this makes me want to turn the movie off. You know,
you had Hal, the orderly,
Yeah.
Ben Stiller reprised this role from Happy Gilmore.
exactly. And I started to go, oh wait,
The kids scream O'Doyle rules, and
Yes.
he's an O'Doyle kid.
Oh, God.
Yes.
When he meets Steve Buscemi's character, they're like, "Oh, is that your house?" And he's like, "Yeah," and it's all decorated for Halloween. He was like, "Oh, I like your ghost sheets," and it's like sheets stained with pee, mentioning Waterboy.
Yes.
And it's just things like that.
Yeah, and now I kind of want to go back and watch it and just like check for all the references. I thought I was getting like an original Halloween movie, and I did not get that. But now looking at it through Casey, who's the movie expert, looking at it through his eyes, I see. Oh yeah, it was. I probably should have looked for those things. I'm terrible.
It
at
also
watching movies.
paid homage to a lot of slasher movies. Steve Buscemi's character, when they think it's the person kidnapping people is him, he was Adam Sandler's character is like 59 Elm Street, and that's Freddy Krueger's house. The mystery that the big twist at the end is very much of another original Halloween slasher movie.
Psycho?
But no, I can't say it
Don't say
because
because I
it'll
haven't
ruin
seen it. Yeah. Don't say I was
But
just
you know
shooting
what
in
I'm
the dark.
talking about.
I think I do.
There's an original slasher that had a very similar ending to Hubie Halloween, but it was a lot darker.
If you figure it out, don't say it.
Okay.
I'll tell you when I can make him earmuff it.
Okay, good. I want to say this. I saw a movie this week
New Mutants.
that I was it was terrifying. It was absolutely one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
You're being
It's gonna be
sarcastic.
so dumb. It's gonna be so
It's
dumb.
New Mutants.
Listen,
Tenet?
no. So thanks to Casey, because we've been doing a lot. We've all been watching like Bly Manor and Lovecraft Country and all that. Thanks to Casey shared his HBO login, so I've been able to watch fucking. Oh my god! I just Lovecraft Country.
Yeah.
And I finished an episode of it the other night, which was stunning. I mean, it was you'll get to it. It's the fire something happens with fire, and it's the most like mind melting scene I've seen from the whole, like the song that plays and what's happening at the time, and like it's real emotional, but it's a fucking slam dunk. And I think the finale is tonight. Anyway,
Yeah.
I was like, I saw something come up in the queue. And I was like, oh man, I could just click on that and just see. Everybody said it was terrible. But I'm just right here, it's right in front of me. I could just click on it and just see for myself.
I hope it's the
Birds
movie
of Prey?
I hope it's the movie we watch this weekend.
Listen. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. Ever.
Birds
Yeah.
of Prey.
Cats.
Why did you watch that?
It
That
was
is
right
terrifying.
there. It was right there. And I was like, you know what? I think James Corden is usually really, really funny. And I was like, maybe he'll save it.
Ricky Gervais's joke.
I don't know. I was like, I just got to know. Everybody said, but I just want to see, and I wish I wouldn't have seen it. It's so unbelievably bad that it's
Instant regrets.
you. And I will go even further
Not
to say,
saying.
not only did they fail in the production of this new Cats movie, and it's got all these huge stars in it, Idris
about to
Elba and Taylor Swift. It doesn't
How
matter.
much money did they spend on that movie?
Millions.
With the CGI
Like
as
10
well.
million or
It
more.
looks like the big. I'm glad you pointed that out because it looks like the
Unnecessary
biggest
CG.
misappropriation of funds.
Yeah.
You can tell every scene is just like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And they just
Because not
suck.
only are they paying a lot of big stars, but they're also paying for the CGI of all of it.
Dude, it is
And it
so
bombed.
so bad. The songs are terrible.
Corridor Crew, the guys that do like CGI videos on YouTube, did a video on that about how bad the CGI is in that movie.
It's awful. Like when they're dancing and stuff, you can see where like their feet don't meet the ground. Like the character like isn't like when they're trying to do spins and the dance numbers and blah blah blah. Blah. Like they literally the character like when they land, they'll land and then like you see him move a little bit. Like it totally looks like something a kid in high school did on his laptop.
Oof.
But also just like it's just terrible. It's terrible in so many ways, and it scared me worse than possibly the Ouija board did.
Well,
that I talked about last year.
You know what's crazy about that is we watched a movie this weekend. Me and Savannah went over to Hunter and Libby's house and we watched The Curse of La Llorona.
Oh, which is supposed to be
Llorona.
Yeah,
And,
It's supposed to be really good.
After we all finished the movie, everyone was like, "Oh, I really liked it," and I just stayed quiet. And we left and we got in the car. And Savannah was like, "I really like that movie," and I was
so
like,
funny.
"That movie was a pile of shit."
I didn't say I really liked it. Hold on. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, what?
Let's hear
how
from
did-
Savannah.
yeah.
Savannah, you give us your take. Casey's clearly made his feelings obvious. Let's hear your take on la 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 la.
I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought it was very predictable and, I mean, hokey. And I wasn't really scared. There was one scene where she first is behind like the fence or whatever. That's the only scene that like really scared me.
And I'll also
But-
say I say pile of shit because I just wanted to be funny and get a laugh out of Hunter, and it didn't work. But it just didn't hit well with me.
I agree with that.
It was, I don't know. Maybe it's just those movies are getting so predictable that they're not interesting to
It
me
was also one of
anymore.
those movies where the whole time you could say, well, why don't you just do this?
People
And
weren't
like
talking
everything
to
would
each
have
other.
been
Yeah.
fine.
Like the son gets grabbed and gets burn marks on him, and the mom goes, "What happened?" He's like, "I fell." And then the daughter gets grabbed
Yeah.
by La Llorona at the pool, and she's like, "Oh, honey, what happened? Why are you behind this thing, hiding and crying?" And she was like, "Why do you have cigarette burns and a handprint on your arm?" And she's like, "I fell." And then the mom sees it, and she's like, "I had a nightmare." And I'm like, would somebody please be like,
Just
"Hey,
tell
I
each
see
other."
I see this lady in a wedding dress crying who has demon eyes," and then
and
we
also,
can get it figured out.
like halfway through the
design.
movie, the guy blesses the pool, and the whole pool becomes holy water, and they never talk about it again.
Also,
I'm like, why are
not
we
how
not
that
filling
works.
fucking buckets with this? Like,
Yeah.
Or even it's like at one point they're like, "You used her as bait," and he was like, "No, He used everybody as bait, and it's like, okay, he's like the guy who doesn't really care. and
This
he's
movie
like,
sounds
So you haven't
very-
seen it, Spencer?
All
I
you
haven't
need
seen
to
it.
know
It sounds
is
super underwhelming.
I started, maybe this is bad, but I started at the beginning saying this is the worst. And then I was like, wait, but it's a Spanish movie. This is El Worsto.
El worst.
Let me set this up for you, Spencer, because I want you to watch it. It's an hour and a half. It doesn't
Nope.
waste your time. No,
It's
check
not
it out. Check it
not
out.
gonna happen.
Shut up.
I'm telling
take
you
care.
now,
Shut up.
I've already
Let
heard-
me. No. They're not wrong.
If
Hey, no,
everybody
no.
at this table said it was the best movie they've ever seen, there's about a 45% chance that I would ever watch it anyway.
I'm going back
Wow,
to your
45.
childhood when
Okay,
you were
let's-
like
let's
10.
Go. Let's go.
It is one of the coolest looking R-rated Scooby-Doo episodes ever. That's totally what it is. It's predictable. It's got a silly monster in it. At the end of it, everyone goes home and it's broad daylight and you get to eat your snacks and it's done.
I want to go back.
I had a good time with it, but it's not
I
good.
feel like you just described Insidious.
great.
No.
Those are great movies.
That monster
They are.
was dumb.
The demon.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
That thing that came out.
Darth
was-
Maul?
Dude,
That's still,
It wasn't dumb when it was behind his head, but the moment it
I was
like
just saying, behind his head, it was-
started
Started
moving,
hopping all of the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
behind his head got me though.
it's like
you guys-
I was waiting for him to break out a fiddle and Charlie Daniels
When,
to come out.
when we finished La
Run, boy,
Llorona,
run.
Savannah and I looked at each other because we were talking about like one of the problems with the movie is unlike the other Conjuring films, there's a really good design for the monster and it's also hidden from you constantly. You see her right off the bat
Yeah.
from the get-go. And the biggest issue with it is she's not scary looking. It, honest to God,
Yeah.
looks like somebody found like the singer from Evanescence when they
And put yellow
first started and
contacts.
said, "Hey, your songs suck," and then she just cried. That's what
Yeah.
it looks like.
wake me up.
Came after your kids.
Wake me up from this fucking nightmare.
I had this nightmare of a movie.
I will say,
You should
sorry,
watch it.
language. My bad. I'm
I know,
trying to
we're
watch my
trying.
language.
We're trying.
I could see.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So
But
You,
okay,
you
a
constantly
good,
want to though. You say this when we're not recording.
a
Challenge
good
yourself.
scary thing that we've watched is Bly Manor though.
Bly
Good.
Manor
Yeah,
was
talk
good.
about that.
Wait, before we do that though,
Okay.
I really want to go back and like over record on La Llorona, and every time she shows up, do my Consuela voice from Family Guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Stop
so
it.
like she shows up and I go,
No,
We were watching the
Children's
movie.
souls.
yeah, like every time like she showed up at one point was like washing the daughter's hair, and I was like,
no, this not dandruff shampoo. You have lice.
It was amazing. The mom's like standing there looking out for the kids, and the power's out in the house, and La Llorona shows up in like the reflection in the door behind her, and Casey goes,
No. You need to leave my house. Give me your children.
I now will concede to watch the movie only
Only
If
if he
Casey
does
comes-
that.
Casey's there and he
Yeah.
I will 100%.
he does
watch it
all
with
the
you.
speaking parts for the monster.
yeah.
That's
She
it.
shows up and like screams, and I just
No. Lemon pledge. Give me my lemon pledge. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
No.
that hurts my throat.
got-
That hurts my throat to do that too much.
No.
It's so good.
No.
It's so good.
No, bad doggy, no.
Well, talk about Bly Manor. I've seen most of it, I guess.
So good.
It's so good.
I'm
So
not worried
good.
about spoilers. Just go. What do you guys think?
Well, spoiler alert off the
Yeah,
top.
definitely.
If you've not seen it, stop here.
Yeah. Finish it. It's worth it. It's good.
So
I'm going. I plan on
the
it.
first episode, car drives by. You see Ghost with
Yes.
big circle.
I was wondering
Yeah.
if anybody saw that. I was like, wait a second, and I actually rewound it. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, there was a thing there, and I
Yeah.
went back and I was like, oh, that's definitely a person. And then he started to show up more. You know.
Yeah, and I love that the ghosts that show up in the background all have a story. They all
Yes.
have a purpose. But
It's definitely headier, I think, than The Haunting of Hill House.
I thought the
Yeah.
plot line was a lot more solid. I thought Hill House was scarier
same. That
Yeah.
for
yes.
like
That was my
ghost
disappointment.
things. I don't know.
But most people are in. They think that Bly Manor is not as scary, but better overall. Better.
Yeah.
Like they put more into it. It's got more.
Bly Manor is a gothic romance. We talked about Crimson Peak, I think, when it first came out, right? Like it was advertised as a terrifying Guillermo del Toro movie, and then you go see it, and it's an amazing one, but it's mostly not scary. It's just like a gothic ghost story.
I will say, and spoilers,
Same thing.
the moment where the Lady of the Lake grabs a hold of what's his face,
Peter Quinn.
oh my gosh,
Yeah, I peed
that
myself a little bit.
That was
one,
startling
That one was intense
because it shows
Yeah.
him at a side angle, and she just comes out of the
and
dark
she
and
just
grabs him
grabs
real
his
quick.
throat, and
breaks
you're
it like
he's
immediately.
Gone. Yeah, just breaks his
Well,
neck.
if we're going full spoilers and we're trying to entice Spencer to finish it, and I know you
I'm
said you
definitely-
will.
I'm going
No,
to.
I know. But since you don't care about spoilers, do we want to tell him who the lady in the lake is?
Do it.
Yeah.
Is
so
it Theo?
It's Theo.
It's
Thank
your
God.
Theo. Yeah.
But like her story is tragic. Like her
It's
and her
awful.
sister
Yeah.
grow up in the house together. Their dad dies.
It's the portraits that are on
The staircase.
above
Okay.
the stairs.
Gotcha.
Basically, she like refused.
She gets tuberculosis.
Yeah, she gets tuberculosis, and she's like, "I refuse to die. I refuse to leave this house."
Yeah.
And she lives for another like what?
And the
20
sister
years or
remarries her
something?
husband and takes
Yeah.
care of her kids. And at one point, she puts all of her stuff in a chest and is like, "This is my belongings." And the sister opens the chest to try to steal it for money because they're about to go under. And it like opens the door and like Theo's in this room, like in this purgatory, and the door opens
Yeah.
and the sister's there, not her daughter.
Basically,
And-
when she dies, she starts living in the chest, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And then
her spirit does.
And then the dad and the daughter decide instead of taking the stuff with them after they leave, because the sister gets killed by Theo's ghost, they dump it in the lake, and so her existence becomes in the lake.
Yeah. And every
so-
night she walks to the bedroom to see if her daughter's there.
Yeah.
And when her daughter's not there, she walks back. And anybody who happens to be in her path, she'll just take them.
Yep.
So did you?
and
'cause
that's
you-
where all the ghosts show up, like the plague
Yeah.
doctor and things
the
like
ones
that.
you haven't met yet.
All the ghosts
And
in the background are people that she's killed.
I was going to ask, have any of you guys read The Turn of the Screw, which is kind of what it's
What it's
based
based
on?
No, but I want
but
to
I
now.
want to.
I'm
Yeah.
wondering how, and on Wikipedia, Turn of the Screw is categorized as an 1898 horror novella by Henry James, and it appeared in serial format back then in 1898, and blah, 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 New York City, London, classified as a gothic fiction ghost story, kind of like you said. The novella focuses on a governess who, caring for two children at a remote estate, becomes convinced the grounds are haunted.
I don't think that has to do anything with the backstory. It's just the children being possessed part.
Yeah.
Yeah, the basic plot is the turning of the screw, but it's like window dressing.
It
The
was a
meat of it's
Broadway
different.
play in 1950. It was the basis for a 1961 film called The Innocents, and of course the 2020
movie The Turning.
adaptation, The Turning.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Which was that good? Did anybody see that?
that was also this year. The Turning.
Yeah.
2019.
Like January. Oh, was it?
I didn't realize it was so. I wonder how similar it is to Bly Manor.
It has
Probably
it has the kid from Stranger Things in it. Finn
Interesting.
Wolfhard.
I did not know. I did not know any of that. And apparently, the big story about the turning of the screw is it was a cornerstone text to academically study something called new criticism, which is a type of writing that involves different interpretations and mutually exclusive interpretations of different things like that. So it's kind of a heady thing, you know.
Yeah.
So that would maybe explain the why it's so.
Well,
I don't know.
we went back and watched the first two episodes of Haunting of Hill House last night, and I looked at Savannah and I was like, maybe it's just because it's new, and that's why I thought Bly Manor was better. I was like, but as much as I love Bly Manor, Haunting of Hill House still is just
Ooh, it's
the
so good.
writing is so good.
And you remember that one scene where it was all shot in like one
Yeah.
take, that
Yeah.
big long.
I was
Yeah.
going to say to that point, Casey, because of what you said, Savannah, where you like Bly Manor more, you think it's a better story.
Yeah, I
all
feel
of
like
it- all through.
the storyline was a little bit more solid.
I actually disagree. I love Bly Manor, so don't get me wrong. It's incredible.
I get you wrong.
But well, you can. But I thought, and I think it's the emotion of it is
Yeah.
what's different. Is the heart of Hill House is so much bigger than Bly Manor, because Hill House is a family drama that's terrifying, and Bly Manor is a gothic romance, which they both execute perfectly. But just one is about family, and the other's
Well, and
mostly
the
not.
symbolism of Haunting of Hill House, like the kids being all the stages of grief, like Steven is denial, Shirley
Yeah.
is anger.
Yeah. Once
Theo
you
is
see it from that
bargaining.
view, I think the only thing about Hill House is I just did not like the ending.
I
A lot of
loved
people,
that
it's
ending.
very polarizing.
I loved
Just
it.
didn't like it. I was
was
like,
in-
yay, the house like wants people. Great. Like,
and it got the
and
dad.
well, and if it did, then like, why are the other? Are we not talking about the other kids
Well,
feeling it too?
A lot of
Like,
people theorize that they didn't make it out either, and that's
I
why at the
reject that
end, all
wholeheartedly.
the people around the table celebrating Luke's 2 years of sobriety, but
Are
cake
actually all-
but the cake is a deep red, and so
Like the
it's
door.
like they all died in
Interesting.
that house.
See, if the window had been in that scene, I
Yeah.
would have loved it.
I would have
I would've
hated it.
loved
I
it.
would have revolted.
because I wanted.
I'm with you. I like super dark endings.
As soon as it was over, I was like, "Aw, I wanted everyone to die."
Well, then you're gonna love Hereditary and you're gonna love Midsummer.
Holy crap! You haven't seen those yet?
Yeah.
No.
Whoa, they're a lot. They're like, get some coffee. Like for me,
Yeah.
the pacing is so slow through a lot of it that it kind of just wears you down. But then like the crescendo, both movies,
Right at the end,
the
yeah.
crescendo it's worth it. It's just it's a hike to get
Yeah.
through them. It's totally his speed because he's super into like every little thing and the symbolism in each scene. And I just don't have the attention span. So for me, I was kind of like, what's going on? Why are they just standing in the room looking at each other?
The first scene of slowly going through the house in Midsummer, I thought you would be, because that was metal.
Yeah.
Like looking at that is like, it's rough.
Oh yeah, and it was, but then it just became weird, and there was just a lot. Midsummer
dancing
gave
in
me
the
a very
daylight.
uncomfortable feeling. I felt like I was actually hot because so much of it's shot like out in the sun.
Yeah.
I was actually I had this like miserable August afternoon feeling like watching it. I was like, oh my god, aren't they going to get in the shade ever? You know, like I was
Yeah.
like that,
So,
and they never did. You know,
with Bly Manor, since you're still in it, you keep talking about like the symbolism and stuff that Casey notices and everything, or just like the deeper things, since I guess you consume.
or just things like the symbolism of the
Yeah.
colors in the room. And did you notice this? Did you notice that this actually means this other thing?
So it's not as deep, but like, did you pick up on, because you are pretty close to the end at this point, that like the kids locking her in the closet in like episode 2 was not because they were possessed little
To protect
dick
her.
bags, but they were protecting her.
Oh yeah, I totally picked up on that.
Because she kicks the doll.
She
Yeah,
kicks the doll, which means that
pisses
the Lady
it
of the
off.
Lake is moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like fast.
I
yes.
still hated the kids.
Oh, sure.
They're little shitheads.
No, I totally picked up on that. I think my problem is when I watch movies, I'm so much, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I'm so much more into like the human condition that I don't look for like, oh, this thing means that thing or blah 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 blah. I watch movies very literally. Like I'm one of the things that struck me about Hill House is the drama of what like the mom went through at the end and how sad it was, and like that was very striking to me, you know.
I think you'll
And
dig
I
the
honestly
end of Bly
didn't even
Manor
have an
then.
opinion about if the house wanted people or not. Like I didn't even think about that. I was just like, holy fuck, how sad that is, how sad and beautiful, and that's the kind of thing that was. I guess I'm kind of a romantic and a literalist,
Sure.
In a lot of ways, but for whatever reason,
So Spencer will love the end of Bly Manor.
dude.
Yeah,
but
you'll love it.
let's shift gears and talk about where are you guys at on Lovecraft Country,
We watched episode 3 with the haunted boarding house,
bro?
and I haven't gone since
You got to
then.
keep going. It gets wild.
Oh,
Now,
it's not that I don't like it.
there's a
love
couple
it,
of
but-
clunkers. There's a couple of clunkers in there. Like there's a few episodes where you're just sort of like but it's kind of the same thing. They do like an episode for almost each one of the people. Like the father has a big odyssey way back, and there's a lot of like, like a lot of it goes back to like the era of like the Jim Crow laws and all that stuff. And so there's a lot of that kind of historical racial tensions, but then there's like some of the craziest gore. Like it gets. Did you see the episode yet with when the guy's over in the army with the Asian girl?
No.
No.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's Vietnam War, so I'm sure it's brutal.
No, but not because of the war.
Oh.
Like she is a thing that you don't understand, and it. Oh my god! I was like, what?
Because he sees her in the second episode where they're
Yes.
in the mansion.
Yeah.
Yes, well, she's a real.
Is she a lesser or a
She
greater
turns into.
Shoggoth?
Doesn't she turn
She is a thing,
into something?
I
in that?
don't know.
No, she just tries to kill him.
Yeah, she just tries to kill him.
but she actually like is in love with him, and later in the series comes to America to try to warn him. Like she saw something in the future, like don't do it, you know. And then there's another thing that happens where people can turn into other people by taking this medicine. But when it wears off, literally the skin and everything just starts falling off.
It's very Cronenberg.
It's very, very like body. By the way, Scanners is on I think Netflix right now, and it's a lot. But it's like 1981. That was one of Cronenberg's first.
Well, and that's the thing. Those are the movies that I want to show Savannah really badly. Like the ones that aren't scary, but the effects, like the
Body horror.
Well, the thing about the 80s is they used practical effects. So when someone melted, they had like a guy wearing a bunch of fake waxy bloody prosthetics and then maybe used a heat gun and like shined it on his face. And like people were put in danger for practical effects back then. Yeah. But it was worth it because you get some of the most striking, shocking looking things. But now when you go back and watch it, it's just kind of slapsticky. It's a little goofy, but you still have an appreciation
At the
for
time, in 1983, nobody had seen skin melt off of a person while they were still acting, while they were actually like screaming and pretending and like
I might have an argument to that. Hold on.
or something like that. There were certain things like Rick Baker was
Yeah.
one of the most famous creature creators, and he created the werewolf.
in London.
American Werewolf in London was a big, but he also did Thriller.
Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, dude. Did Rick Baker do that?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to look up Sleepaway Camp in 1983 because that guy has there's a really bad pedophile like cook that no one likes in the movie, and he gets it's comical because they're cooking corn in this boil pan, like they're boiling water, but the pot is probably the size of Hunter standing on the stove. Like it's super tall and dumb looking.
Yeah.
And like someone grabs the stool and pulls it out, and the guy like grabs onto the thing, like the pot, and pulls it over, and there's all this boiling water hits him, and the prosthetics are like boils that are like pulsating as he's like screaming and his skin's melting off.
I'm pretty sure he just called you dumb looking.
How you gonna
He
take
said
that?
like Hunter. He said like Hunter,
I just
super
meant-
tall and
I meant-
dumb looking.
You gonna take that, honey?
Tall and dumb
What are you gonna do over there, buddy?
I didn't
Nothing.
mean you're dumb looking. I just meant
Get
like
him. Get him.
No.
Let me look up a
Kidding. I'm
picture
trying
of
to start.
Gonna get him.
I'm cantankerous because it's Halloween.
You're cantankerous because you're old.
Man, did anybody bother? That's not entirely.
That's
untrue.
mean.
No, I am old. But so, did anybody bother going back and watching the remake of Child's Play that was out recently?
I still haven't seen it. Casey
It's not
loaned it
great.
to me.
It's not great, but it was
Where Luke
better than I
Skywalker's the
expected.
devil.
What?
Yeah, Chucky is Luke Skywalker.
look at this pot. Look how stupid that looks.
Yeah, that
they're
looks-
cooking corn in that.
That looks like the thing they built to catch the Knoxville tiger.
Yeah.
They basically just took like a big drum and set it out by the interstate.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
going to catch the tiger.
Honestly, it's because it's so skinny.
I hope the tiger shows back up at Halloween this year.
Dude.
It was bad. Our guest Joe Hurley called me about that, and he goes,
Wait, whatever happened with that?
Dude.
Did
It turned out to be a bobcat, and it went back to the wild.
Spencer, what if you're
Do we
like
know that
checking
it
your
went back
mail?
to the wild?
I mean, it's
Not
not
for
eating
sure.
people, so.
What if you're checking your mail at night and you see like shiny diamonds, like the eyes of a cat in a black and blue coming after you?
He'll go, here, kitty, kitty.
He'll go.
I'm
and
gonna
go
bring
get a
you.
can
I'm gonna
of
bring
wet
you
food.
inside, get you fixed, and leave you in my bathroom for a couple.
I got to tell you, I would probably jump on the tiger.
Would you ride the tiger or just jump? Jump.
Yeah. You know he's mean.
Yeah.
I hear if you eat
But I
the
hear
eye
you're
of a
clean.
tiger, you become a great boxer.
No, we're busy diving right now.
I've heard it's thrilling.
Oh,
Hey.
Goodness gracious. This is devolving.
It's
just like
great.
Lovecraft.
But
It's
dude,
also
I encourage you, if you guys are done with Bly Manor, go back onto Lovecraft Country and watch it, because the only problem I have with Lovecraft Country is the acting. Sometimes all the time
They're overacting.
Overacting.
Yeah.
Like violently. Like somebody should go, dude, chill out. Like
Well,
but-
it's 1920s.
It's also, I don't want to yuck anybody's yums, but I also just,
Nice reference.
I feel like I want to continue watching a show when I really get connected with a character and I like want to know their character line. I don't care about any of these characters.
in Lovecraft Country,
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of care about a couple of
I
them.
care about the main guy. He's really good.
Yeah, and it, but
That's what's
or the
killing me,
girl.
though.
The
There's no
girl's
through line.
probably my, and she's the one that's in the fire scene with.
That's Jussie Smollett's sister,
Okay,
or
also
Juicy Smollier.
Juicy Smollier. Did you catch that in Bly Manor, the mom that like was cheating on the dad was the girl from Starry Eyes?
Oh no, I didn't
It was
realize that.
the principal actress from Starry Eyes, which is a fucking stunningly good movie.
I still haven't seen that. Do
Dude,
you recommend it?
It's
like,
better than anything we've talked about this episode.
including The Dirt?
Yes.
Whoa.
I mean, as far as like an action, I like The Dirt because of the subject matter, because it's about rock and roll.
Wait,
but
what's your favorite movie of all
Dirt.
time?
Princess
Dirt.
Bride?
Oh, well,
Hands down.
classic. Classic.
Hands down.
Why?
Followed very closely by Tombstone.
I
Why
quote
is it
that
Princess
like
Bride?
almost every day.
What?
Why is it Princess
Because
Bride?
it's the greatest movie of all time.
Why?
It really is the greatest movie.
'Cause
It has everything.
It's got revenge, sports. It has everything. Love, true love.
But I want to
gambling.
know why you love it.
Because it's the greatest movie of all time.
That's not an answer.
Because what can be an old lady going, Bill?
Princess Buttercup.
Marriage. Marriage is why we are gathered here today.
I still like Billy Crystal's my favorite character in that.
Or Andre the Giant.
You kids have fun storming the castle. They're never gonna make it.
Did you see the little internet remake they did? Like the 10-minute Princess Bride remake they did?
Was it better?
Oh, I saw it.
It was fucking
It was-
incredible. And it was shot by all these different celebrities.
Yeah, it was like 100 different actors were
Crammed into like
a
10 minutes.
fundraiser or something.
They
Okay.
raised money for something. It came out this summer.
Anybody want a peanut?
Dude, it's really good. If you haven't seen that, Google that immediately. Anyway, back to Halloween stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie. I've seen the movie. I don't like it.
What?
Yeah.
How do you not like The Princess Bride?
I was forced to watch it for English class in high school, and I hated every minute of it.
Also,
Well,
what?
I mean, I was forced to watch the Island of Dr. Monroe for English class, and I loved it.
Have you
that's what
watched
I'm
it
saying. Like,
since
doesn't-
then, though?
No.
Because I feel like
I think that
things change.
setting-
Shit. You want to talk about body horror?
What's up?
Moreau.
Yeah, the Island of Dr. Moreau.
You mean the original one?
No, it's
No,
a
the
Val
one
Kilmer
with,
one.
Yeah.
Is that just because of the way Marlon
Have you
Brando
seen
looked
that
in it?
No.
It's about a guy that washes up on an island.
Yeah.
And what first seems like just like a billionaire living in, what is it?
Hold-
Like,
do you not know the story? It's
No.
a classic story.
No.
The Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah, okay, go.
so at first, the guy seems like he just washed up on this billionaire's island, like a private island. But then you realize that he's like crossbreeding humans and animals and like making these like humanoid, like there's a horse person giving birth to like a weird, it's grotesque.
You know what I
and
say to that,
love it.
Hunter? You know what I say? You hate to see it.
Hey.
I just want you to
Hey,
know
real quick,
that,
because we're kind of
I'm on the
getting.
island.
Oh, okay.
We want to. I want everybody to. I don't want to have to sit there. I want you guys to
No,
get out
sir.
and do Halloween stuff and watch some of these movies. Think about. Let's all do this. Cast a vote for like just a quick scary movie recommendation for the listeners. It could be the best scary movie of all time.
I
Doesn't
have
have to.
3 right off the top of my head.
Go.
Casey,
Go.
you go.
Black Christmas, the original
Okay.
slasher, first slasher ever made. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Sleepaway Camp, great cult classic.
Okay.
And oh shit.
Did you lose it?
No, hold on. Nope, hold on. Wait for it. The Strangers.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice.
Very, very
3
nice.
slashers that are really great for Halloween.
Okay. Really, really good. Anybody else? What do you got?
Go to Savannah.
Savannah, what do you got?
I don't
Good
think
Halloween.
mine
It
are
doesn't have
like,
to be scary. It doesn't have to be slasher.
Well, I was going to say, I don't think they're like Halloween.
October
Halloween.
movies. Everybody says Hocus Pocus
I
is
would
the
say-
quintessential October movie. I don't know that I'm there, but
Prometheus,
ooh, nice.
creature feature.
That's a great one.
Prometheus is good.
The Conjuring.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Conjuring,
I'll tell you.
good.
And I really liked Get Out.
I like to Get Out too.
Get Out was good.
Also
It was
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say my wife is here. She said to mention Slither, which is
Yes.
great, but not my top 3. This is not top 3. Yeah, so just right off the cuff, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003.
Of course.
It's one of the few
Jessica
remakes that
Biel.
is like amazing.
It was good. It was very good.
No one ever should pull a gun out of their cooter.
True.
They should leave it in there because
It's the dumbest thing.
'Cause the laws
in
are
any
changing
movie.
all the
It's
time.
the dumbest thing in any movie I've ever seen.
Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Yes.
Don't knock it if you haven't seen it. That will keep you up. The Mist with Thomas Jane.
It's
Love
really
it.
good. Really good.
loved The Mist.
It makes you hate religious, like overly religious people.
It does
It
because
really
they're
frustrates
dirtbags.
you. It really is
It
frustrating.
makes you appreciate a father that keeps his promise no matter what, though.
Dang.
pow pow.
Pow, pow.
I think I'm gonna just say Pet Cemetery.
Fresh out of a cooter.
And I-
Which
are we-
one? The
are we
new one
doing
or the old
three-
one?
Definitely the old one, but man,
I went back
28
and watched
days
the
later.
new one again. I like it.
I like
really
it too.
like the new
I
one.
like it too. It just didn't stand up to like.
It's its own movie.
Which one?
The new Pet Cemetery. It's its own movie from the original.
I hated the ending.
The alternate ending's way better.
I think if I had to pick 3, I would say Pet Cemetery because to me that's just like the greatest scary movie ever. It's like the Princess Bride of scary movies. But also I would say In the Mouth of Madness by John Carpenter.
I still have
yeah.
that
I
on
haven't seen that
DVD.
one.
Sadly, it was so fascinating, but I feel like it's not aging great.
It's a Lovecraft movie. It's very Lovecraftian.
It's
Yes.
a low budget 90s Lovecraft movie, so
And
it's
at the
not going to
time,
age
at the
well.
time when things hadn't gotten more sophisticated, and there was no Ari Aster, and there was no Hereditary, and
Yeah.
there was no really highbrow horror, it was one of the most mind-bending, to me, psychologically scary movies ever.
Well, I think sometimes those are a lot better than the like, oh my
prem-
gosh, we're going to pop out and get you.
So the
is
premise-
the psychological ones.
The premise of In the Mouth of Madness is you have this writer who's obviously inspired by
Stephen
Stephen
King.
King. They
Yeah.
call him Sutter Kane.
Oh.
And he has gotten so popular that he sells more books than the Bible. He outsells
Whoa.
everybody has 5 or 6 Sutter Kane books in their car all the time. The world has gotten so and all of a sudden reality starts to take the view of his writing instead of the writing of like the Bible. And things start to change. And
Interesting.
The whole world goes like crazy. And it's basically follows the guy, Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't believe any of this shit. And he's a literary like lawyer, like an investigator. And the publisher is like, hey, we got to have that new Sutter Kane book, but he's disappeared. and he has to like find out where he is, and it's this town that maybe only exists in his writing, but yet somehow they're able to drive to it, and then things go brain melt, fried egg flies out of your ear.
I have it on DVD. We'll watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it would be it's great, and some of it's a little corny.
Yeah.
Mid-90s John Carpenter, though, is like a perfect Burger King meal. Like there's
Big
nothing
Trouble in
wrong
Little
with it.
China.
Yeah. So
Or-
like, don't let him knock it.
Oh,
It
you know
doesn't age well,
another
it's great.
psychological one like that. Shutter Island.
Yes.
so
I
good.
love that one.
Yes.
Scorsese.
My lovely wife also said to mention 28 Days Later, and I feel like
Fantastic.
a heretic for not having thought of that.
28 Days Later, my
Or-
favorite variation of the vampire movie.
I'm gonna
Or the
push.
vampire or zombie movie. Sorry,
Zombie movie.
Zombies they're fast and it's dark. I love it. I love 28
I'm gonna
Days Later.
push all of your alls down and put one on top.
Doubtful.
John Carpenter's The Fog.
So good.
I thought you were gonna say The Thing.
No,
The
that one's
Fog.
great. The fog will creep you out.
The Fog
to
is
this day.
such a good, like, creepy ghost story because it's about pirates that come in the fog on the island and they start slashing people. It's just
It's self-contained. It's
so
one and done.
it's a great like around the campfire movie kind of story.
And to that point, like even though it is a ghost story, unlike even the Conjuring ghosts, which are like demons and like dresses and stuff, the ghosts in this movie are like ghouly creatures.
like zombie pirates.
Yeah,
with
but they are ghosts. It's an amazing.
Well, and I'm
Jamie
gonna-
Lee Curtis is in it.
I'll throw one out. Well, of course I'm glad that we didn't mention any of the classic because you can't even. Where would you even start to pick like Halloween and Friday the 13th and like go watch all those. If you've not seen Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Nightmare on Elm Street, just do all those. They're classics. But I would also say The Lost Boys, and here's why.
An amazing one.
It's like it's when vampires were badass and not like Twilight, but also it's like a cross between Bram Stoker's Dracula and The Dirt.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw one old one
With
out
some
there.
really bad 80s tropes like Corey Feldman and Corey Haim wearing all
shirtless
just pastel everything.
saxophone guy.
So here's an old one because we the ones we're mentioning are great, but just like to go back to classic Universal. I know we got to wrap up.
Before
Oh,
you say anything,
Okay, yeah.
I was hoping you would bring these up, and I wanted to tell everybody we did an episode like a year ago called History of Horror, where actually we went and learned. Well, you, Hunter, I think already knew a lot, but I had to go back and learn about a lot, like where horror movies started,
Turner
Yeah.
classics.
all this kind
yeah.
of stuff, and it was fascinating to look how horror has changed down through the years. But
So I'm going to mostly repeat what I said there with this pick. My wife also said The Ritual on Netflix, which we have an episode on, is amazing. But the one classic Universal one I would mention, not because it's the best, and like all of them, they're a little hokey, they're super overacted, but if you will surrender yourself, bowl of popcorn, dark room, to an hour and a half of just like you're showing up to the haunted house like we are at Frightworks, you want to get scared, you want to have a good time. The atmosphere of 1931's Dracula will knock your dick right in the dirt.
boom. I say we leave it at that. That's a great recommend because that was originally horror that had to depend on very few advantages.
Yeah.
They had to make that movie without special effects and without they had to actually use lighting and mood and creepy. And I believe those things still stand up.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely went off topic.
Penis
for-
right in the mud.
Savannah, we're so happy you're here. Let's talk horror
thanks.
movies.
No,
It's fine. I can
Just pretend that happened at the
I
beginning.
can talk
Mud dick.
horror.
Horror.
I can talk horror.
Merpin.
Merpin.
Guys, we're going to wrap up.
Straight
we
Merpin.
hope that we're about to see all of you in a little less than 2 hours at Frightworks. If not, maybe we'll go back again before Halloween. And regardless, we hope you
Some
guys
people
have
may get to see me pee. Who
Yeah.
knows?
We hopefully everybody has a really safe and happy Halloween. Whatever you do, watch a bunch of horror movies, read some scary stuff, be spooky, and
stay safe,
Yes,
please.
please stay safe.
And wear masks.
Do you guys hear that though? I think we're picking up. Oh God, it's in the reflection. I think it's La Llorona again.
La Llorona.
No, no. We need more leaving pledge and your children. Oh, no, no. This is racist.
It's El Worsto.
It's el worsto. The children. The children need more leaving pledge.